the nugget that came out of it for me, I think what I heard from you, Jerry, is we can all, if we're all in our lane and we're maximizing to our strengths and abilities and place our work in the areas where we're greatest and highest need that match the skills, there's a place for everybody in this mosaic. That's what I'm hearing from you. It's not a preference for one or another, or one has to displace another. There's a spot, but we got to define the spots.
Well, it sounds also like the focus of what you folks what you've been talking about, Des or Rhonda, the primary care nurse at the bedside, that is now at the bedside of the PACU or the intensive care unit nurse, I guess. Those are the only ones that are doing it for days on end, relating to the family, doing the care, talking to the patient who's intubated. I guess that's the place where that's still done.
Well, I tell you, back to your point, Dr. Zollinger, this past year, nurses were there when people died.
Yeah.
No family. And for me, as hard as that is to hear, there were families that sent acknowledgement to nursing staff because I couldn't be. I was comforted knowing you were there. That for me, there's been that candle's burning a little brighter right now. I think there's been an acknowledgement that caring presence is one of value. And if you give the individual the time to do that, it has the impact that we would all want for anyone that we care for or love ourselves. So I think we have a hopeful future if we can use what we've learned this past year, not only the pandemic, but social injustice and unrest, the attack on the Capitol, the economic crisis that affected so many families. If you think about what nurses went through this past year with spouses and children, and it's an exposure every day to something we didn't quite know exactly what was going on, and then to confront communities that don't believe it, don't understand it, question your authority. It's really an incredible year. And so I hope, and what I'm working with our teams to consider is that let's quit thinking about this as the virus and consider it the enzyme that changes how we do what we do, and we never go back to the way it was. Because if that was working, this clearly showed not so much. And so we want to really do things differently. And so we're working here at Mount Carmel to transition folks to acknowledge our what we've been through and try to heal from it and realize that it's not going away. And then acknowledge that now we got to, some of our leaders call it pivot. Others say, transition, whatever words you want to use, but we've got to now start to point towards the future. And it's not to go back, it's to go full steam ahead.
Thank you so much for joining us for this discussion today. If you'd like to learn more about our guest, head on over to our Patreon page, where you can access exclusive content, including the full segment of our show. Never want to miss an Inside the Doctor's Lounge clip? Be sure to click the subscribe button to our MD Coaches YouTube channel. As always, we appreciate suggestions for future show topics. Let us know what you're thinking in the comments below. And finally, special thanks to Ryan Jones, who created and performs our theme music for the show.